The stories that we tell ourselves can make or break us. Stories that are told to us by the people we love can also harm us in unimaginable ways. They become the burdens we bear for a lifetime. And the stories that loom over us in a community can make us stagnant, paralyzed, unable to move through. We get stuck in the story, and it becomes our trauma. But the right story brings a new vision, one that we can all share, and then there is hope.
Keith, hi.
Hi.
Please tell me a story.
Uncle Bubba will tell you the story about when he was 16 years old and he went to a camp in Maine. And for the first time, he was faced with climbing the tallest mountain he had ever seen in his life. It looked from the very beginning as if I was not going to make it. I got on the trail and it was okay for a little bit, but my legs got tired and I was a little pudgy boy, and so I was soft, and I was not going to make it up the mountain in my mind. And there was the oldest counselor in the camp. His name was Uncle Leo. Uncle Leo sat down when I sat down. He just sat there. He said, "Keith, we going up the mountain." I said, "Okay." He said, "When you're ready, I'll go." And then I found myself on the top of the mountain.
All right now.
At the plateau, there was water in little pools that you could dip down and drink. It was fresh rainwater, purest water I've ever tasted in my life. I've never tasted water to this day. But Uncle Leo was there. He got me up the mountain. And I learned that what you often think is impossible is quite possible if you are persistent and you have the right motivation. And Uncle Leo was with me all the way.
Okay. I am reminded of high school. When I was a senior in high school, school was no challenge. I was an ACE student and just focused on going to college of my choice. Well, I only applied to one, and I fortunately got in, and that was University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
All right.
Yes. And I was hanging out there on campus. I was there when Michael Jordan was there, James Worthy. One of my best friends was Lawrence Taylor. You know, he played basketball with me. I felt sorry for me. I know he was football, but he played basketball with me just on the court there.
Right.
And I did all of that hanging, had fun, got politically involved with the Black Student Movement, the BSM. And the next thing I knew, I got that letter.
What letter?
Academically ineligible.
Oh.
Yes, I flunked out of school. After 2 years,
Oh, no.
I flunked out. Yes. So I went home, and obviously my parents had gotten the letter that day because they were still sitting in the living room when I walked in. They knew I was coming home, and they were sitting there just waiting for me.
Oh, no.
My parents never sit and do nothing. So when I opened the door, going to my dad's house, although it was home, you still knocked on his door. I knocked on the door, neither of them said a word. I opened the door. The first thing out of my dad's mouth was, "There's the flunky." Yes.
Oh, no.
And that just went straight to my heart like a knife, just cut me. I thought to myself, how could he be so insensitive? And my mom said nothing. I was a bum for about 5 years.
A bum?
A bum. I worked from job to job to job to job. And
just kind of moving around.
Yeah, just moving around. And finally, my last job was working as a assistant. They call it a habitation assistant at a profoundly and severely retarded residential facility.
Right, okay.
And I thought, 2 years gets me cleaning this, and I had to go. So I pulled it together, went back to Carolina.
Went back
Yes,
to Carolina.
went back to Carolina,
Okay.
because that's where I had to slay my demons. That's the dragons that I had to slay. Otherwise, I would always have felt like I wasn't good enough to cut it. So regardless of what I did after that point, I realized I had to go back to Carolina. So I did, and in 2 years I finished. Once I finished there with my degree, all my family came to my graduation. I went to the University of North Carolina, North Carolina A&T State University. Graduated with my master's in adult education. Upon finishing that degree, I worked 1 year, which was my plan. During that year, I applied to a doctoral program. I got into the University of Cincinnati, Ohio, and here I am.
I'm mad at myself. I see you do something that I can't do. Look into the mirror and see if I can find a better me. Pray to God to give me the strength to be free. Live every day. You will see different things, and you will learn to live with disappointments. How I live with the disappointments is easily chosen. Step 1, pick up a ball, zone out, play with the rock. I might miss a shot or more, but that don't stop me from shooting. Step 2, pray to get better. Without prayer, I can't proceed to complete my destiny. Every day, I will see progression. I see it now. Nobody can stop me. I'm on the top. Nobody can reach me. Once my motor is in go, there's no stopping me. All the negativity, the people that said I can't do it, the people that doubted me and said harsh things behind my back. But now I'm better than you. You see that I'm better than you. Stronger, faster than you. You asked me what made me better. I said the disappointments, the negativity, and the people made me better. I turned all of that into something that you can't do. That's how I became a better me.
Chemistry is a science. Chemistry is science of which matter is composed. So why is it that it matters how I am composed? Just as any other human, I have cells that form membranes and bones that connect with ligaments and muscles that connect with fascia. But somehow, because my coding is different, my chemistry is wrong. My coding, which was designed by God, somehow is chemically wrong, substandard, and not up to par. Just because my coding is kissed by the sun, my chemistry is wrong. My hair is wrong, and I am wrong. Why isn't my hair straight? Why isn't my skin light? Why is it that my hair looks like anything but hair to anyone but me? And then I looked in the mirror and realized that my chemistry is perfect. My mole ratios are marvelous. My equations are exceptional. My answer is ACE. However, that never seems to show through to any of you. The higher my hand, the lower the expectation, just because you see this cappuccino coding that I was blessed with. I think it's truly a tragedy, the amount of trouble that you go through to try and disprove me. It's amusing to me how you look down on me but look up at my achievements, how you look sideways at me but look long ways to read the amounts in my scholarships, how you look up derogatory terms but look down upon my equal treatment. No matter how hard you try to tell me it's flawed, my chemistry is perfectly right.
But just think about how life was when you were so much younger and how it felt so natural and so
Besides, there's a genetic predisposition or linkage to diabetes, and I've been to lots of trainings about it, and it's just sad to think that you might lose your memories and your storytelling.
Yes.
So every time you get a chance, every family event, just kind of pull out your phone and just start making a video. Because you think you have time, and, you just don't.
Stories teach values, traditions, and more importantly, creative problem solving. Storytelling brings solutions. And the power of "and." That's the challenge. Recognizing the continuity of life. And then always means in a story that there is more to come. Options that are better than drugs and suicide and giving up and giving in. Learn to change your narrative, and you instantly have a chance to move from trauma to triumph, from being the victim to being the victor. And moving through one trauma teaches you resilience for the next. And once you've learned that, there is always hope.